do, friend? What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of The Amber May Show. I'm so glad you tuned in today because I have a great show for you. Dr. Henry Ealy is joining us later on in the episode because in a world where chronic illness is normalized and true healing feels out of reach, one voice is cutting through the noise with clarity, courage, and conviction. So today we're going to welcome Dr. Henry Ealy, America's premier natural health teacher, founder of Energetic Health Institute, and author of the Book of Questions. Dr. Ealy isn't just a healer, he's a movement maker. And this October 23rd through the 25th, he's bringing that movement to Dallas with a Healing for the Ages conference, a bold truth-telling, soul-restoring event that's being called the most important health and healing gathering of the year. And then alongside that, we're going to talk a little bit about No Kings, but there is a Bible surge that's going on after Charlie Kirk's assassination. And it won't surprise you to see this coming up, but yeah, there was a teacher assistant that was arrested on a college campus for overturning a turning point table. And so, like I said, then we're going to get into a little bit of No Kings news. I didn't want to talk about it beforehand because I didn't want to give extra media attention to something that's so silly as No Kings, and we're going to get into that a little bit later on the episode. We'll see how far we can get because I have a lot that I picked out on today's headlines, but we'll see how far we get into that. And some funny videos. You know, dogs are absolutely incredible. And we're going to get into a video about how dogs just have naturally saved so many babies' lives. So that's on today's episode. Like, share, subscribe. If you like what I'm doing, please repost this episode. I'd really appreciate it. Tomorrow is Premium Content Day. And I have my behind the scenes with Amber May. A lot happens over the weekend. So you're going to get to see what my life was like over the weekend. So all that's on the episode. So tune into my premium show tomorrow. If you're not a premium subscriber, right below this video, you can hit Rumble Premium and subscribe for $10 a month. Actually, there's a deal going on right now if you want to be a premium subscriber to Rumble. If you use the word spooky, you're going to get $15 off Rumble Premium. So if you want to sign up today to be a premium subscriber to my show and others, right there, hit the button below and then hit the button, use promo code SPOOKY at checkout to get $15 off. If $10 a month is too much for you, then right there in the Rumble chat, go ahead and subscribe for $5 a month to my live show. And then that way you get all premium content. We want to welcome Patriot-Radio Maverick. We're on the Slacker 82 Alpha show on Rumble today. So thank you, Slacker 82 Alpha, for hosting this episode on your network. So thank you so much. Let's send a shout out to my media partner. I'm on the Faith and Freedom Network. You can find it at Faith, the letter N, freedom.tv, or right here on Rumble, Faith and Freedom. So I'm on the Faith and Freedom Network. I am on UG Media, which broadcasts out of the UK. So the UG.media, you can find me there, UG.media, or I'm on Express Radio Station, Live 365, the Vera Radio Network, shout out to Doug out there, MikeVera.com. I'm also on Mastiff Media at Yerkes Radio and Right Talk Radio and Patriot-Radio. So shout out to my media partners. All right, let's get the show on the road, shall we? Here we go, guys.
On the Amber May Show, the truth runs deep, fighting for the lost, for the souls who weep. Breaking the silence, making a stand, a voice for the people across this land. Children stolen, lives betrayed, she won't back down, she's lighting the way. A beautiful warrior with faith so bright, holding the line in this endless fight. On the Amber May Show, the truth runs deep, fighting for the lost, for the souls who weep. Breaking the silence, making a stand, a voice for the people across this land.
Welcome, friends. I'm so excited to have you. Thank you, chat, for joining us today. I just enjoy seeing all my friends show up in the chat. Hey, if you're a longtime viewer but never been a part of our friend circle, come on over to Rumble when our show is going on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, and Tuesday, Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Come join the chat. We would love to welcome you. We would love to say hi. And I'm going to get into it because I have a lot to discuss on today's show. And I wanted to start out with some positive news that I thought was so incredible. And I'm finding this on yournews.com, which you can also find this episode and other episodes of the Amber May Show on yournews.com. But the Bible sales surged nationwide following Charlie Kirk's assassination. This is absolutely incredible. So in a month following the September 10th assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, sales of the Bible skyrocketed, according to the Wall Street Journal, which reported that 2.4 million copies were sold in September, a 36% increase over the same period in 2024, and the highest total so far in 2025. Brendan Cotter, an analyst for Sakara Bookscan, told the outlet that the spike reflects a familiar pattern. In times of crisis, more people turn to faith for comfort and support. Data showed that while overall U.S. print book sales fell by 1% in the first 9 months of the year, Bible sales rose 11% over the same time frame. So Kirk, who was also fatally shot while speaking at Utah Valley University, had long linked his political activism with Christian faith. And the West is the best because of Christianity, he wrote on August 13th on X, weeks before his death. We must see Christ first, and our national and cultural resurgence will naturally follow. I hope that's true, because we've seen a lot of cultural shift over the last several decades. I think it went into high gear in the 1960s, and we're seeing more and more anger turn out as this rhetoric just intensifies, this hate, the Trump derangement syndrome, everyone hating the conservative values. We just want to conserve the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, but we went into the whole mindset thing last week. I hope you'll go back and check out some of those episodes, because we went back and we really dug in to the mind control aspect. And as a result of that mind control aspect, this is what's happened. So here's a story of a teacher assistant on a college campus. ISU police arrest teaching assistant caught on video overturning local turning point table display. An Illinois State University teaching assistant has been arrested for allegedly overturning a table displayed of Turning Point USA material set up on the quad by local members of the group founded by assassinated political activist Charlie Kirk. ISU police chief said Derek Lopez, 27, from El Paso, disrupted the informational tabling event on Monday, October 13th, and again on Friday, October 17th. McLean County Young Republican said Friday incident was captured on video by Lincoln's Turning Point field representative. The video has gone viral on conservative social media pages, including Fox News Facebook page. The video shows a man identified as Lopez turning a Turning Point member. Jesus did it, so you know what I've got to do, right? He proceeded to pull the table covering, making a mess of the items on the table. He walked away saying, "Thanks, guys. Have a great day." ISU police said they arrested Lopez for disorderly conduct and criminal damage to property. These are non-detainable offenses under Illinois Safety Act. That sounds oxymoronic. So it's a non-detainable offense under the Safety Act. So he was released on notice to appear in court. I get that, but like the idea of a safety act and you're releasing people just doesn't sound so safe. Turning Point is registered student organization at ISU. Police chief said that members choose not to press charges following the first incident, but changed their mind after Lopez returned 4 days later, naturally. So here's a video. It's a better video. I didn't play the one in that article, but here's a video, a better video of that incident happening.
Well, you know, Jesus did it, so you know I got to do it, right? Jesus did it. Good luck. He did that. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Jerk.
What else are you throwing out here?
That's depressing.
Throw this sucker
Dang, how did this get covered?
out. Whipped cream
That's
everywhere.
so sad. Oh!
We got casualties.
Oh!
You know, our side at the college campuses don't overturn the communist propaganda tables that are set up. We let them do what they want to do. We do what we want to do. We're kind of like live and let live kind of mentality. It's a shame that they're doing it to us. Not that I think we should fight back necessarily, because then that just escalates everything. What is the right answer? You know what the right answer is? Jesus Christ. Let's introduce him to Jesus, and maybe all this stuff will stop happening. Maybe that's the attitude we should go. Let's just introduce them to who Jesus is. Anyways, moving on. On Breitbart News, they are reporting that Trump dismisses joke, a no king protest. He says, I work my butt off. Of course he does. I mean, the guy never sleeps. He's traveling overseas to stop this war. He's going over here to do this thing. And he's constantly moving all the time. The guy never sleeps. You know, Joe Biden was seen all the time on the beach eating ice cream. But this man, he has been working nonstop since he was sworn into office. So a confident President Donald Trump dismisses the No Kings protesters who took to the streets across the nation over the weekend, rejecting them as a joke before adding, I work my butt off. Trump delivered the observation to reporters before exiting Air Force One at Joint Base Andrews when approached about the demonstrations, waving them and their puerile participants away by saying, I think it's a joke. Well, it is a joke. It is. Check this out. This is the signs. These are the signs that they have at their so-called protests, which we know is dark money. We're going to get into that in a second, but here we go.
Mueve con poder, se mueve la mano de Dios, se mueve a la vida, se mueve la mano de Dios, se mueve a la vida, se mueve, se mueve, se mueve con poder, se mueve, se mueve, se mueve con poder, se mueve la mano de Dios, se mueve a la vida, se mueve la mano de Dios, se mueve a la vida.
I'm surprised he's saying anything about the hand of God, seeing how he has the devil horns on his head. Enough with that. I'm not going to show you any more of that video. It said, I looked at the people. They're not representative of this country. And I looked at all the brand new signs. I guess it's what paid for by George Soros and other radical left lunatics. Trump continued. It looks like it was, we're checking it out. The demonstrations were very small, very ineffective, and the people were whacked out. And when you look at those people, those are not representative of the people of our country, he added. Trump then made it clear his work was dramatically elected leader is far more removed from that of a monarch. I'm not a king, he said. I work my butt off for this great country, and that's it. I'm not a king at all. And let's see. If he was a king, oh no. Hold on. If he was a king, well, I'll show you a video if he was a king. I want to read this to you. This is a post that my friend Patriots with Grit posted. He said, this is an excellent breakdown from Flynn. So apparently General Flynn said this weekend, millions are expected to flood the streets chanting no kings, no secrets, and what's being sold as a grassroots rebellion against authoritarianism. But peel back the curtains and you'll find a different story. One of dark money, elite networks, and carefully coordinated narratives. This isn't the voice of the people. It's a well-funded operation designed to shape perceptions and control outcomes. Amid the orchestrated chants of no kings, no secrets, there is zero excitement for this demonic cause. What is presented as a grassroots movement is instead a hollowed spectacle driven by a web of dark money and hidden agendas. The substantial funding from networks like Arabella, Soros, and others, totaling near $294.5 million, reveals a calculated effort to manipulate public perception rather than genuine uprising. This top-down manipulation, lacking the organic passion of true activism, leaves little room for enthusiasm, exposing it as manufactured narrative. Over 2,500 No Kings protests are scheduled for October 18th across all 50 states, orchestrated by a coalition of over 200 groups, including Indivisible, the ACLU, the CEIU. On the surface, it looks like a broad coalition, but dig deeper and you'll find these organizations are the same donors, lawyers, and fiscal sponsors, entities like the 1630 Fund tied to George Soros Open Society Foundation. Politico has called this fund the left's dark money powerhouse, and for good reason. It has funneled hundreds of millions into political operations disguised as civic engagement. The playbook is simple but effective. Fiscal sponsors like Arabella creates shell nonprofit that spin off countless sub-projects, each with a noble-sounding name but zero public accountability. These groups pay for protest signs, organizers, travelers, and media campaigns, creating the illusion of a groundswell while the puppet masters remain hidden. As a crowd for hire CEO recently admitted, paid agitators and foreign influence are part of this mix. This isn't activism, but information warfare. We've seen this before. The color revolutions overseas follow a similar formula. Western NGOs pulling strings with money, media, and messaging in perfect sync. In 2020, the Summer of Justice protests, millions went into bail funds tied to political PACs, and those election year civic engagement drives are always hitting the same swing states. The pattern is clear, the slogans change, but the players behind the curtain don't. Senator Ted Cruz is now calling for a federal investigation into the money web behind No Kings and even pushing for RICO scrutiny on these fiscal sponsors. The coordination is too perfect, the slogans too polished, the timely too convenient, and the media are singing all the same tune. As one X post put it, this is not simply a political protest, but information warfare. Money fuels movements, movements shape perception, and perception drives policy. But don't need bullets to win that kind of war. You only need belief. To separate real activism from manufactured dissent, start asking tough questions. Who's paying for the buses, training, and signage? Who's providing media coordination and digital advertising? What fiscal sponsor processed their donations? Which national talking points appear word for word across supposedly local chapters? Real grassroots movements are messy, unpredictable, and often underfunded. This one is none of those things. Elite networks hiding behind nonprofits, moral slogans, exploit real people with real danger. The best disinfectant is exposure. Until we rip off the veil of the dark money machine, exposing millions funneled through shadowy fronts and the puppet masters pulling the string, the cycle of manufactured outrage and laundered cash will keep masquerading as change. The American people deserve the truth, and we must fight for it. And with that, I'm going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to continue on more with some more about No Kings. One of my other good friends, Dr. Artis, he has this healing conference coming up. Dr. Artis, Dr. Group, Ealy, and Schmidt, they come together for something greater than themselves, each bringing something unique and powerful to the stage, a healing message, not just of hope for humanity's future, but a definitive pathway that everyone is capable of walking in order to transform disease and darkness into bright, shiny, healthy light. They will teach you how to take control of your own health by sharing natural, simple healing solutions for the whole family. So the conference is coming up October 23rd through the 25th. It's in Dallas, Texas, October 23rd through the 25th. If you go to healingfortheages.com and use promo code AMBER, you're going to save money at checkout.
Hi, I'm Dr. Artis, and you're watching me live on the Amber May Show. Stay tuned.
Hey friends, if you're looking for a doctor you can trust, look no further than Dr. Stella, and you can find her at drstellamd.com. Let me show you one of the areas that I love about Dr. Stella. I enjoy supporting the immune system, especially when it comes to cold and flu season. And I love the Covey Light, the Covey Sleep, especially if you're having trouble sleep at night. Get that Covey Sleep. It'll help you so much. So not only are you supporting the immune system, but it also helps you get a good night's sleep. The Covey Spray is super easy. Covey Vites. These are my favorite, the Covey Vites. She has placed vitamin C, D, zinc, and quercetin. And we all know that zinc helps support the body's immune system, but zinc needs a delivery system. So that quercetin is the delivery system to drive that zinc in to help your body heal faster and feel better. Also has Covey vitamins for kids as well. Hey, and if you're looking to get ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine, or you just feel under the weather and need a doctor you can trust, set up a telemed appointment with her. And the best part is when you use my name, Amber or Amber May, at checkout, whether you need your Covey Vites or a telemed appointment, you will save money at checkout. So don't forget to use promo code Amber or Amber May at checkout to save some money. So go visit drstellamd.com and then use promo code Amber or Amber May at checkout to save some money. Hey friends, so glad that you joined me today. Make sure you give us a like, a share, repost if you like this episode. Thank you for being here. And I hope you've dropped by in the chat and said hello. because we would love to welcome you. I have a great group of people that show up each and every episode, and that means the world to me. Okay, so if I go back to yournews.com, they had an article out that said No King's protesters reportedly says he'd kill White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller. How more violent can this side be that you're going to say you want to kill Stephen Miller? This is awful. A protester on Saturday's No King rally in Seattle was recorded telling a reporter he apparently wanted to kill White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller. Dozens of protests against President Donald Trump and his administration policies took place October 18th nationwide. Journalists posted the video of the protester being interviewed while holding a sign which read, "We would like to kill Nazis." Oh, would you like to kill Nazis with me? Who are you going to kill? Cruz asked in the video. Nazis, the man responded. Who do you define as Nazi? The reporter followed up, to which the man asked, what do you mean? During multiple campaigns in the 2024 presidential election and the 2022 midterm election, numerous Democrats sought to cast President Donald Trump and other Republicans as fascists or threats to democracy. In this context, who is a Nazi? Cruz asked. Stephen Miller is a Nazi, the protester responded. So you're going to kill Stephen Miller, the reporter repeated, apparently stunned before the reporter replied, if I had the chance, yeah, I would. This is how bad things have gotten with that side. The mind control, the mind manipulation is so bad. So Cruz later reported the FBI was investigating the man's threat. Cruz also posted a video showing another protester who said killing Miller would be justifiable. How? What crimes did Stephen Miller commit? How is it justifiable to murder a man because of his viewpoints and his beliefs? That's how you kill a republic and kill freedom. Miller and his family were forced to move from their home in Arlington, Virginia after being targeted of a harassment campaign. I showed you that on my show. The intense effort included written messages like Stephen Miller is destroying democracy, no white nationalism, trans rights are human rights. I showed you that video on the public sidewalk. And when a reporter went up to them, they all scattered like cockroaches. They wouldn't speak. Another New King's protester said that for her birthday, she wanted to wake up next morning to read Trump's obituary, according to a video posted Saturday by the Main Wire. You're wishing the president dead? The reporter asked in her video. Protesters replied, yes, absolutely. So that's what's happening with that article. Now, this is a funny meme, okay? It's funny. Check it out. This is really what's happening in our world.
What do we want?
We don't know.
When do we want it?
Also unclear.
Why do we want it?
Because it was forwarded to us in an email, so it must be true. Yeah!
Yeah, pretty much. That's what's going on with the No Kings rally. I didn't want to give it a lot of press. That's why I never talked about it or very little mention of it on my show. Breitbart's also is reporting that Speaker Johnson on leftist protests, if Trump were king, the government would be open right now. Isn't that the truth? If the President Donald Trump were king, the government would be open right now, House Speaker Mike Johnson said during a press conference on the 20th day of the Democratic shutdown. Johnson pointed out to the No Kings protest over the weekend, which he had referred to as Hate America rally, and explained that this is what the shutdown is all about to Democrats, the sheer spectacle. The Democrats made crystal clear that it is about politics, and the politics were on full display. The politics, the spectacle, is what the mobs, the crowds, the rallies this week were all about, he said, pointing to the great irony here. They called it the No Kings rally, but the great irony, of course, is that he pointed out over and over that if President Trump were king, the government would be open. Johnson pointed out if President Trump was king, we wouldn't have closed the national parks and the National Mall. Johnson even further pointed out the fact that former President Barack Obama, not Trump, did during a government shutdown. So if Trump were king, he would have closed the national park. Sorry, I misread that. He would have closed the national parks and the National Mall. I remember Biden also did the same thing. He closed some of the national parks too. They couldn't have had the rally out there, by the way, he said. And that's what President Obama did during the shutdown of 2013, closed all the parks and National Mall. Lost on the Democrats is the fact that Trump has been working to help those the Democrats have hurt, including by working to make sure troops receive their pay. Here in Washington, you have Senators Bernie Sanders and Chris Murphy and Cory Booker and others marching in the street. These are the same senators who voted over and over again to shut down the legislative branch and hand the reins over to President Trump, Johnson concluded, adding their decreeing the situation that they themselves created. Accuse your opponent of what you were doing and make them defend it. This has always been about spectacle. Has nothing to do with the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer joined the spectacle in New York City and associated himself with radicals, including the Communist Party USA, the Democrat Socialists of America, the Freedom Socialist Party. You can't have freedom and socialism. It doesn't go hand in hand. So this is a good video. I wanted to show you this video. This one was good.
Movement is far from over. In fact, our fight has only just begun. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So with American pride swelling in our hearts and American courage stirring in our souls, I say these words to you tonight. We will make America great again.
He's lowered prescription drug medication or is still working on lowering prescription drug medication. And in his administration, the legislator says that they're trying to work on legislation to end Social Security tax. I hope that actually happens. That's not a President Trump thing. That has to do with state legislature. But he's also made sure there was funding for women's, infants, and children. He's brought peace all over the world. I mean, this is the worst fascist dictator I've ever experienced. He's brought safety in all the blue cities where safety didn't even exist. And I played videos of that. But look, his popularity, despite what the No Kings want to say about him, he's still a very popular president.
Down net approval rating, we're talking 20 days into it. In 2018/2019, Donald Trump's net approval rating was already falling. The shutdown was eating into his popular support. It was down 3 points already at this particular point and would fall considerably more. It was very much on the decline. You come over to this side of the screen, this shutdown hasn't eaten into Donald Trump's support at all. His net approval rating is actually up a point in terms of his popular support. So the bottom line is this. The first shutdown during Trump's first term, 2018-2019, was hurting Donald Trump. This one is not hurting him at all. There's no real reason Donald Trump might say, at least when it comes to popular support, I want to get out of this shutdown.
What about the question of blame?
Yeah, okay. What about the question of blame? Okay, you see here, you see Donald Trump's net approval rating was down 2018 to 2019. You talk about 2025 as net approval rating is up. It comes down to the blame game, a game I loved to play when I was younger. Blame Trump for the shutdown a great deal. In 2018/2019, 61%, more than 3 in 5 Americans blame Trump a great deal for that particular shutdown. You come over to this side of the screen, look at this. It's a different world. It's a different world. 48% of Americans blame Trump a great deal for this particular shutdown. So it's more than 3 in 5 back in 2018/2019. It's less than half, a drop of 13 points. Again, it's no real wonder that Donald Trump at this point, looking at the shutdown, says, you know what, it's not actually harming me politically, in large part because he's getting less of the blame.
Well, hey, all I can say is...
Yeah. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
He's winning, and even CNN admits that he's winning. Now, if he really was a king, if Donald Trump was really a king, this would absolutely be happening. They would definitely be bowing down in front of him if he was literally a king. Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer bowing down to Donald Trump. So clearly he can't be a king. On a lighter note, what I love about dogs is they somehow know instinctively how to protect the family that they love. And here's some incredible videos of that dogs doing just that.
Hey, you okay, buddy? You all right? Good girl, Luna.
Get it, Diesel, get it!
Oh, thank you, boy.
Wow. Dogs are just incredible. I mean, so incredible how they were saving all those babies. And it was so cute when one mama doggy put the baby doggy in the crib with the baby. That's just so precious. So there was a triggered accountant arrested after allegedly shooting at a man over Trump's flag. This was reported by Breitbart News. An accountant from Georgia is under arrest after allegedly pulling down Mark Thompson's Trump flag, then shooting at his residence while Thompson was standing on his front porch. The incident occurred September 6, 2025 in Swain County, North Carolina. The Daily Mail reported the arrest on October 20th. According to the Daily Mail, Thomas purportedly spotted Campbell slamming on his brakes and screeching to stop after seeing the Trump flag waving from a bus on Thomas's property. And thereafter, Thomas watched the surveillance cameras as Campbell allegedly emerged from his Jeep Cherokee wearing an Antifa-style mask and began trying to pull the flag down. Campbell was allegedly able to rip the flag down. Thomas went on his porch with a rifle and fired warning shots into the air. And Campbell, who gotten back into his Jeep, circled around and allegedly fired several rounds at his home. How dare this man come on someone else's property and destroy their property? Imagine if this person put an Antifa flag up and someone came down and tore it up. I mean, I wouldn't condone that behavior either. And in fact, in my neighborhood, there's like two neighbors across the street from each other. I swear they're in a flag war because one's very much conservative and one's very much liberal. And I swear to God, they have this flag war. And I'm so glad so far this hasn't occurred in my neighborhood, but it could. I always worry about that. So Campbell was arrested, is charged with assault with a deadly weapon and the intent to kill to inflict serious injury, discharging a firearm within an enclosure to incite fear, and willful and wanton injury to a person's property in connection with the incident. So the surveillance camera shows it, and I'm going to show you this video. The mind control and the mind warp and the Trump derangement syndrome's out of control in this nation. I mean, it's not your property. You have no business touching anything on someone else's property, let alone threatening them with a firearm. Gotten to the point now, you can't even be Americans anymore and like who you like. But you know what is always American? Being a cowboy. Being a cowboy is always American. I'm crazy about cowboys. I think cowboys are great looking men. They're tough men. My husband's one of them. I love cowboys. So CNN is reporting this. Why are you seeing cowboys everywhere? Because they're gorgeous. They're hot. They're attractive. They're men. They're manly men. That's why. Across advertising, the popular media, seemingly everyone is grabbing their fringe denim and Stetson boots in a wholehearted embrace of the American West. Damn right. It's cowboys and they're everywhere, said Emily Keenan, a photo director for both magazine and brand. It's more persuasive than I think it's ever been before. Long associated with hardworking, old school, rugged American masculinity, the cowboys' current popularity could be a reflection of our national politics. Conservatives, including members of the Trump administration, have embraced cowboy hats and similar imagery, but today's prevailing cowboy image also highlights how cultural myths are continuously upcycled and resold, regardless of their origins. Cowboy-inspired fashion graced October's issue of Vogue, which featured cover star Kendall Jenner and Gigi Hadid on horses at a Wyoming ranch. Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour had thousands two-stepping in their country's best. Long-standing Western drama Yellowstone is a spinoff of 1923, and the Billy Bob Thornton-led Landman are among some of the most watched TV series. And the wide range of brands, including fast casual restaurant Sweet Green, the luxury outerwear brand Canada Goose, have embraced cowboy hats and Rusted Red Canyon backdrops in ad campaigns. This idea of American patriotism ties into its identity. I think now we're seeing it more. So along lines with that, I wanted to play this video. Board dancing. I can't, buckboarding. I think this is called buckboarding. This is in the west, the eastern, in the hills of eastern, where is this? Eastern hills of. This video was filmed in the eastern hills of Kentucky. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, yeah. Hey guys, I've been working in the financial sector for a little while, and I used to work for a financial planner as a licensed life insurance agent. If you're serious about protecting your wealth, then I believe owning gold and silver and having that in your portfolio is key. It's time to stop trusting the same people who built the mess, and that's why I trust my gold guy. That's Ira Bergschatzky. He's not a middleman, he's the owner, and he's America first. And he's the real deal when it comes to physical gold and silver. Ira deals only in high-quality bullion, no overpriced coins, no high-pressure tactics, and no gimmicks. With one of the lowest minimums in the business and some of the most competitive rates anywhere, he'll get the real value without the globalist nonsense. And so if you're ready to make the switch and protect your wealth with owning some gold and silver, I highly recommend having some in your portfolio. I'm not a big proponent of turning your IRA into a gold IRA, but I definitely believe everyone should have some gold and silver in their portfolio. So if you're ready to do that, go to mygoldguide.com/Amber. That's mygoldguide.com/Amber and get some precious metal in your portfolio today.
I'm Abe Hamadeh, and you're watching The Amber May Show.
Hey, so when you are a guest at the Amber May's house, you get luxury. And how you get luxury is I have this sleeping couch, the sleeper sofa, and you're telling me that's not luxury. It is when you put a MyPillow mattress topper on it. All my guests that have come over and stayed at my house have really enjoyed this sleeper sofa, which says a lot because they're getting to sleep on the MyPillow pillows, and you get the MyPillow mattress topper, and then it doesn't stop there with the luxury, because when you shower at the Amber May Show's house, you get to have a MyPillow towel. I don't have the kids using it. I just let the adults have the luxury, so the adults get to use the MyPillows, and they're phenomenal. And right now, there's a massive sale going on with the MyPillow house. So you should really put luxury into your home and live it every day like Amber May does every day. So I have a MyPillow mattress topper on my bed. I use the MyPillow sheets, the MyPillow towels, the MyPillow slippers. I live luxury, and I don't have to pay the luxury price because MyPillow has promo code. So use my name, Amber, and save up to 66% off, and you can live luxurious as well. Well, friends, like I told you, we have Dr. Henry Ealy joining us today. Let's welcome Dr. Ealy to the program. You deserve a round of applause, Dr. Ealy. Welcome back to the show. So glad to have you.
Oh, thanks for having me back on, Amber. It's great to be here. And big shout out to everybody in your audience. Thank you so much for all the love and support. We appreciate you so much. I might stumble over my words. We're putting together a conference later this week. I don't know if you heard, but wow, it's a lot of work, let me tell you.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It's this week, isn't it? The 23rd through the 25th?
23rd, 24th, 25th. What's really cool, Amber, you're going to love this. Later today, we have a roundtable between Dr. Artis, Dr. Group, Dr. Schmidt, and myself that we filmed in January. We had gone through the Flexner report, and you've heard of the Flexner report?
No.
Okay. Well, a lot of us have this question of why things are the way we are. We all agree that the medical system in this country is broken. Do we all agree on that? Right. I think we can all agree on that. We're spending $4.9 trillion every year for literally the worst outcomes of any nation in the world. $4.9 trillion of America. So that's so we've all had this experience of, this system that isn't working for us, but it's costing us. And what's so crazy about it, Amber, is on average, the average American, this includes children, are spending $14,885 every year for the worst outcomes. And this is by ranking of how much time is spent, how much money is spent, how many people died, how many people, going on. I mean, what do you go in and work with these doctors, and what do you get? You get a prescription, and then you come back, and what do you get? Another prescription, and then another prescription, and then another prescription. And what's so crazy is you had to drive an hour to get there to the doctor. You have to wait an hour to see the doctor. You get 7 to 18 minutes. I looked this up this weekend for our documentary. That's our world premiere that's airing on Thursday, right? We have a documentary called Transformation. The power to heal lives within you. And so we're putting all these interesting little things that are going on in our country right now, why we need to make ourselves healthy again. We can't rely on the government to do this. The government is good at spending our money and then us not giving any of our money back. The government is really good at that, but they're not proven at helping us heal. So this all comes back to the Flexner report. And this is 1910. It's this huge 300-page report basically saying that our country needs to resemble Germany in terms of how they do their medical system, right? Their educational system. Well, what it was really about was the Rockefellers wanting to control medicine and for profit. And this is where we call it Rockefeller medicine. This is what Rockefeller medicine is. You're going to get petroleum product that is a poison that is masquerading as a medicine. You're going to get one pill turning into 2, 3, 4. You're going to get vaccines up the wazoo, right? And none of it has anything to do with health. All of it has to do with control, and especially the accumulation of their wealth, not the accumulation of our health. And so for us, it became this conversation, and it's going to release today on the history of that. It's this round table where we're just breaking it down, breaking it. How did we get here? Let us show you how we got here. Because from Rockefeller medicine, Amber, what comes is licensing boards. And now, in order for you to be able to sit for and get a license, you had to go through an approved school. And if you go through the approved school and you go through everything they set up, because it was supposed to reduce the number of doctor visits. That was the whole argument. It's going to reduce cost and it's going to reduce. We spend more than any other nation and it's not even close. All that happened were the costs skyrocketed. And why? Because these doctors were specifically not taught health. They were not taught that. When you read the Flexner report, it was specific. They only want to teach disease. They don't want to teach how to heal. So what did they curiously omit from their curricula? Nutrition. The most effective, the safest therapeutic ever known in human history of how to help people heal. We're going to eliminate that from the curricula and we're just going to say it doesn't work, right? And now what we're going to give you is a pill for every ill. And that's the world we live in right now. So for us, when I say us, Dr. Artis, Dr. Group, Dr. Schmidt, and myself, it became, we're seeing natural medicine, a full out attack on it once again, because it works. We saw this during COVID, vitamin D, right? If you take vitamin D, if your vitamin D levels were above 50 nanograms per deciliter in your bloodstream, you had a 99.9% likelihood, regardless of age, where you lived, what your cultural heritage, what didn't matter, man, woman, doesn't matter. You're going to heal. Your body's going to recover. All you need to do is get your vitamin D levels up, right? So we get together and we're like, they are attacking us once again. They want to wipe out. We saw them trying to wipe out homeopathy. They're trying to take glutathione off the market. They're trying to take the things off the market that they know work. And when things work, what do you not need? You don't need a doctor.
Right.
Now,
you don't need pharmaceuticals too, right?
Sure. You never need those if you talk
Right.
to me long enough. But do you know what's crazy? Some of the stuff I learned this weekend, putting
Please.
together this last little thing, the last little finishing touches on the
Right.
documentary. Do you guess what percentage of adult Americans had a medical visit last year? Guess what percentage of Americans did?
Is it more than 50% or less? Don't tell me.
Mm,
More or less?
It's more.
No way. 70%? No way. 90%?
Little lower for adults, a little lower.
Okay, tell me. What is it?
It was over 80%. It was 82.4%, I think, of Americans had at least one medical visit last year.
I need a whoa button where it goes like, whoa. Like, I need one of those.
I'll give you
that's a
one right
big
now.
whoa.
Ready? Here's your soundbite. Whoa.
I'm going to use that. I'm going to put it on my board. When I have a jaw-dropping moment like that, I'm like, boom, whoa. Like, that's crazy.
Now, guess what percentage of children had at least one medical visit?
More than 50% or less? 70? 80? 90? 98?
95% of children had at least one medical visit. So they've got this ingrained into us that a doctor has to be a part of your life all the time.
Is that including the well checks?
That would include well checks, right? Which is ridiculous, because if a baby's not sniffling, sneezing, or as long as their poop is looking decent, you don't need a doctor. They're going to grow, right?
I know, but I didn't know that back then. I did not know that. I'm like, oh, especially being a first time, especially being a woman with infertility issues. Right. I'm like, I wanted my baby to be as healthy as possible. I had so many pregnancy issues. So, naturally well check. Oh yeah, I want to make sure my kid is doing well. And I didn't realize until COVID that the well checks are nothing more than an immunization schedule.
That's all it is.
That's all it is. And to make now, I'm not against doctors making good money. Please don't hear me say that. Right. But when you hear them getting millions of dollars from shooting up children with poisons that are causing all kinds of neurological issues, health issues.
Preach.
I'm sure you saw the Del Bigtree movie that just came out. And I mean, I played a clip on my show last week, and you're hearing like Dr. Thompson and his reports coming out about just in his practice alone, the kids that were vaccinated were far less healthier. And then you had this doctor, after he discovered what from the Ford something or other organization, he wouldn't publish the study that said that vaccinated kids are far less healthier than unvaccinated. I just feel so scammed. I'm so blessed that like my kids didn't have a super neurological issue, but my son had asthma from it. You know,
Caused by the
vaccines.
shots.
Yes.
If you look at the inserts for the shots, what do you see? Asthma is a sequelae, is something that happens once they're administered. They know that these things create disease. They market it as if it's going to eradicate disease. It's
Right.
never done that. It's caused disease. And that's where you go, look, let's have an honest conversation, because what you're describing is the same thing I went through as a single dad. Right? We want the best for our children. So what do they prey upon? Our fear that we could have done something that could have
Yep.
prevented something catastrophic for our children. That's what
it.
they prey upon, right?
Mhm.
But really what they're doing is they are preying upon our children, because you look at the what's called the vaccine media and excipient summary. That's a list of all the ingredients in every shot. It actually was taken down in 2024. It's supposed to be public access by the CDC. They removed it. It has not been restored. I've been checking every couple of months to see if RFK Jr. has put it back up. They have not put the ingredients back up. But if you look at the ingredients, formaldehyde, nail polish remover, aborted human fetal tissue,
Mhm.
aluminum,
Mhm.
mercury,
Mhm.
green monkey kidney cells, fetal bovine serum. These are all things. And my question to the doctors that are saying vaccines are safe and effective, vaccines save life. I'm like, okay, let's get on the same page here real quick. What makes a person immune to something?
Getting sick and then overcoming that.
And what helped them overcome it?
Their white blood cells.
Their immune
Immune
system.
system.
What
Yeah.
makes you immune from something? Your immune system. So I grabbed the ingredient list with a bunch of doctors and nurses and that are all yah. And I said, I'm going to read to you ingredients. Explain to me like I'm 3 how this ingredient creates immunity in a human body. Just explain it to me. I'm open. They can't explain it because formaldehyde doesn't create immunity. Aborted human fetal tissue doesn't create immunity. Aluminum doesn't create immunity. What's aluminum implicated for? Neurologic, autism,
Disorders.
Parkinson's,
Mhm.
Alzheimer's. That's what aluminum is
Yep.
indicated for, or implicated by. So when we look at those things, you go, look, so what do we know the shots are? At best, in an altruistic world, and we don't live in that world, Amber, but in an altruistic world, at best, a vaccination could be an artificial infection that challenges the immune system, so the immune system has to respond to that. That's the whole theory of vaccination. So now, how many times have you ever had a kid that had 3 infections at the same time?
Never.
So why are you giving them a trivalent vaccine?
Right? But they didn't tell me that. You know, I saw 3 shots. I'm like, okay, I didn't realize there could have been like 9 in there, you know, or I saw 2 shots, didn't know there could have been 4 in there. You know, it was very deceptive because I didn't know. I like, because if they would have laid out every single shot on the counter I was going to give my kid, every mother would have said, hell no.
Not doing
Not
that
just no,
doesn't
hell
make
no.
sense.
No.
It makes no sense, right? But what do they prey upon? The fear we have as
Mhm.
parents that
Mhm.
something we could have prevented would have saved our child's life if
Right.
something tragic happens, right? Now, I've talked to the parents, the Ernest Ramirez, the Robin Stavolas, and all these other amazing parents out there that learned the hard way,
Yes.
learned the way
Yep.
my mom almost learned. Okay, because the vaccines almost killed me when I was 13, and MMR almost
Really?
killed me. Yeah, I went into acute renal failure. We talk about it in the documentary, Transformations, the Power to Heal Lives Within You. We talk about that.
Wow.
Okay, so you start seeing that this is a industry right now that makes over $90 billion a year, vaccines alone, and that by 2028, they are anticipating growth to be above $125 billion annually. Well, how are you going to do that? By putting more and more needles in every arm. That's this whole mRNA push that they want to transform into, because mRNA they can produce like that at a lower cost. Okay, while still enjoying all the immunity protections. They injure or kill your kid, you can't sue them. You can't sue them for doing these things. Now, when you start putting all of this stuff together, you realize we have some very serious problems. And where did it all begin? 1910 Flexner Report. So starting today, we're going to go through that roundtable. It's important as a country that we start having these conversations of how did we get into this mess and how are we going to get out of it? Well, how are we going to get out of it? You come and study with the Healing for the Ages doctors. You come and study with Dr. Artis, Dr. Group, Dr. Schmidt, and myself. You come to Healing for the Ages this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and you come in Maha with us. I'm all about the intention and the spirit of Maha. I've been on record. I like RFK Jr. I've done work for RFK Jr., free pro bono work for RFK Jr. I like him. I think he does have a good heart and that his heart's in the right place. I also think that he's done some things where he didn't realize how diabolical the system he's in really is. And so I think he's trying to go along to get along, and you can't go along to get along with somebody who's trying to kill your child. You just, there's no common ground for us to establish a working relationship, which means that you have to come in and drop the hammer down and let it be what it's going to be. If they fire you, they fire you. But I'm not going to back off of what I know to be true. And what we know to be true, Amber, is real simple. If you wait for your government to make you healthy, you are going to be waiting until you're in the grave.
That's right. Well, I want to talk about this for a second because like I said, I'm an infertility survivor. I'm pretty sure it happened from the tetanus vaccine. Because once I went on the Reawaken tour and met an associate of Dr. Andy Wakefield, they were talking about the tetanus vaccine, and I saw the trailer. I saw the whole movie. And I was like, wow, I got that in my early 20s and everything shifted in my body. Everything did.
Right.
And I didn't put the two together because of the brainwashing, safe and effective, safe and effective.
Right. We all were brainwashed.
What can be done? Like, is there a way to restore fertility in couples?
Yes, there is. And that's such a great question. That's why we came together, because we do have solutions. And that's what we want to share with the world. We've all made some choices, for whether it was because we were misled, whether we were lied to, or whether we just knew better and we did it anyway. We've all been in these situations, right? But then you come to this place, particularly when you become a parent, and the world changes very quickly when you become a parent, especially for somebody like you that had to work to become a parent, right? Like, that little life now is more cherished than anything else, right? As it should be. That's what's so wonderful about all of the moms. That's why I'm so ardent in my defense of mama bears out there. I don't care if somebody doesn't like me, as long as mama bears love me. As long as mama bears love me, I'm cool, right? If mama bears could be the only ones that could come to me and be like, Doc, you need to tone it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I would listen. But if it's somebody that's doing wrong in the world and they're like, I don't like Dr. Ealy, I'm going to be like, well, I'm doing my job then, because I'm fighting for these mama bears out here and these little babies that are coming into this world, that they have a life worth living. And if they're getting injected the moment that they come out of the womb, that's insane to me, especially when you look at the ingredients of what they're being injected with. The best book for any mom that's watching right now, and any papa bear out there, because there's some badass papa bears out there too, that if you want to get educated really quickly on this topic, we have a great course at the Energetic Health Institute called Vaccine Education for Mama Bears. It's very inexpensive, but what do we always get into? We get into argument after argument after argument. Once you start knowing, you're talking to somebody who doesn't know, and they're only working from that place of indoctrination, right? So We arm our moms and papa bears that come into class too. We want you in there too, dads. Is number one, what are the ingredients? Number two, look at VAERS. Let's go through it and look at it objectively. How many times have they reported that, yes, these do actually injure children and kill children, right? These are not, I'm not making up statements. Number three, what's the law around this? The 42 USC 300 AA law around this. That's United States, USC, United States Code, right? This is the federal code around this that protects them. That was put in by Henry Waxman in as a pharmaceutical representative in 1986. This follows what they learned, the failure of the swine flu vaccine. They learned that, oh my God, we could get hit by all these people who got this shot and are injured. We've got to change that. We got to protect ourselves. They're doing it right now. Bayer Monsanto is doing it with glyphosate, with the Monsanto Roundup. They're trying to get the same protections all around the country too. It's actually in the U.S. Farm Bill this year that they're trying to get those same exemptions, those same
I
protections.
hope they don't. I hope they don't.
Well, me too. But the thing is, we can go beyond hope with that by being educated and knowing, and now putting pressure on people like, hey, I know what you're doing. You better stop that, because the people, once they figure out what's going on, tend to respond pretty unfavorably to having their children being murdered.
Oh, yeah.
Parents are usually pretty upset about that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Going on, right? So what we have is an opportunity to educate. But like to your question on you got a shot and something's gone on. Yes, this is where we get into detoxification at the cell level and cleansing at the body level, and all these different ways that we can do it. Do you know what I'm about to release on Saturday at this conference? Oh my God, we have figured out something. I had a theory and I said, we know we got to get heavy metals out of people's bodies. We know they're
Yes.
spraying them in the skies, they're in the water, all this stuff. We've been working on this for a long time. And we also know that the way we've traditionally, and the way I was trained to get them out, is using things like EDTA and DMSA, these chemicals that are arduous on the body. They work to get the heavy metals out, but make no mistake, there is a price you've got to pay. And you better know what you're doing when you're using them, because they will strip the body of biocompatible minerals. So you got to constantly, there is a price. I've watched so many people go through chelation. There is a price that you have to pay. And it finally dawned on me early this year. We were trying to create a product with DMSA in it, but the lawyers didn't like it. And they said, it's not going to be good. The FDA is going to come after us. We couldn't do it. Right. So I said, okay, listen, there's got to be another way. And I'm sitting in meditation. I'm talking with God. I'm like, God, just show me the way. I will do the work. Just show me the way. And it hit me. You know, the body will swap bad fats like trans fats, from fried foods out for healthy anti-inflammatory fats, omega-3 fatty acids. The body swaps them. As soon as the body gets the omega-3 fatty acids, it's like, thank you. And it gives up the trans fatty acids. We know this. This is proven. So I said, why wouldn't that be true? Because we're living in God's divine design. Why wouldn't that be true for heavy metals too? What if I gave the body way more of a good mineral than the cult of Asclepius, these globalists say I'm supposed to have? What if I gave the body way more? And what would happen with metals? And so I did that experiment on myself. I took doses of some minerals that they said should kill you.
Oh.
Of course, they don't kill you. What they do is the body takes those minerals and kicks out the heavy metals. We figured out how to practice chemical-free chelation of heavy
Cool.
metals out of the body. And we've actually got 2 ways to do it now. And it's proven in multiple testing that I've done. It's proven. And I get to release that information on Saturday at the conference. We're talking about, Amber, something that is about to change the very face of how natural medicine is practiced for at least the next 100 years. We got that ready to go on Saturday. I'm so excited to get this out because I rolled the dice and I was like, it's probably not going to be anything. I'm a skeptic, and I'm like, I don't get excited very much about stuff until I can prove it. But I got the results back and I was like, whoa. This is way better. I thought, oh, if we got 50% improvement on the clearance, I could probably extrapolate it and tell people, yeah, it's going to improve it. We got a 400% increase on the removal of heavy metals by just doing what I'm going to teach on Saturday. And then we
Wow.
redid the test, Amber, because I'm like, one time could be anything,
Yep.
but let's check it again. And
Mhm.
guess what? We got an 800 times increase, 800% increase doing it. We know how to get these heavy metals out of the body now. And we're so excited to share this. And here's the great part about it. It's it's going to be easier on the body, much easier on the body. And guess what the cost is? Next to nothing for people out there in the world to do it.
What? That's awesome. You know, one way people are getting heavy metals and they don't even think about it is their deodorant. I mean, has all that
Aluminum.
aluminum in.
Aluminum. What does the aluminum do? It blocks the pores, and now you're clogging the pores with aluminum. So now what does your body do? Well, let me bring that in because I've got to clear that space because I need to sweat.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
You, oh my, Amber, you are going to love this conference. Let me tell you, your audience is going to love this conference because you got 4 docs with over, like we say that a person achieves expertise on a topic after about 10,000 hours of studying it, right? Well, each of us has well over 50,000 hours of experience. So combined, you're talking about 4 docs that have over 200,000 hours of experience with natural medicine. That's who you want to go and listen to when you were like, how do I heal? What's going on? So it comes down to detox. It comes down to, like, for infertility, it comes down to detox, cleaning the body, especially cleaning the liver. Very, very important.
Hmm.
Cleaning out the body. And when you clean the body out, something amazing happens. It starts working the way God designed it to work. And
That's
then
awesome.
and now you're healthy. Now you just saved $15,000 every year because you don't need those doctors. Now you don't become one of those 82% of adult Americans that went to the doctors. You're not one of the 66% of Americans who are on at least one pharmaceutical drug every single day. Now you're not on any of that. And you're like, and how are you feeling? Oh my God, I have energy. I sleep better. My sex life has improved. I've got energy to go work out. I have a better, oh, this is the greatest part of it, Amber. The way I interact with the people I love is better.
Oh.
Now I get these moments. One of the stories, oh my God. One of the stories in transformation, we took one of my students through an entire healing process. Okay, through a good part of a healing process. I wouldn't say entire because we're always kind of healing,
Right.
but she has this moment, Amber, and I don't want to give it away, but she has this moment about something her son says to her, and it is like you hear this, and as a healer, you know, you hear this and you just go, "Thank you, God, for giving me the opportunity to have that experience. I got to participate in that experience right there, that a little one got his mama bear back."
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it was like, it's just like everything makes sense. It's payment in full right there. You know, it's your cup runs over. And I just can't speak highly enough of everyone that wants to learn right now, because there's so, like, you're asking these great questions. There's so many of us out there that want to learn, but who do you go to?
Mhm.
Who do you trust,
Well, I
right?
can
And
tell
who
everybody
knows?
who to go to. You got to go to healingfortheages.com. Use promo code Amber at checkout to save some money. Get your virtual ticket. You're running out of time. It's on the 23rd. Okay. So get it today. Don't delay. Get it today and hear amazing stories from Dr. Ealy, Dr. Artist, Dr. Group, Dr. Schmidt.
Yep.
And you're going to walk away with so much knowledge. You're going to be glad you spent that $99. Well, I want to thank Dr. Ealy for spending time with us today. Thank you so much. And I want to wish you the best this weekend as you do the conference. So thank you for carving out some time today.
I get a big hug, internet hug from you, because I feel like I need a hug.
We got Yes. Yes. Well, Dr. Ealy, I appreciate you. Have a good conference this weekend.
Thank you so much, Amber, for having us, and I can't wait to talk to you again in the future.
Thank you for joining us today on the Amber May Show. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And if there's someone that came to mind, please share this episode with them. Please follow us on Telegram at The Amber May Show, True Social Amber May, Frank Socially Amber May, or Clout Hub. I can't wait to see you next time on the Amber May Show.